Welcome to our comprehensive tutorial series on Cursor IDE. In this first installment, we'll walk you through the process of downloading, installing, and setting up Cursor IDE on your on your system. So let's dive in. First things first. Welcome to this, First things first. Hello, developers. My name is Strider Guthrie, and welcome to part one of our Cursor IDE tutorial series. Today we'll be focusing on getting started with Cursor IDE up and running on your machine. Whether you're coding a novice or a seasoned pro, Cursor IDE's AI-powered features are about to revolutionize your coding experience. So, before we start the installation process, let's briefly discuss what Cursor IDE is. Cursor is an innovative code editor that integrates advanced AI capabilities. It's powered by GPT, offering intelligent code suggestions and completions. Cursor supports multiple programming languages and frameworks. It's designed to boost your coding productivity and help you write code faster. Before we begin, let's make sure your system meets the requirements. So this runs on Windows, Mac, and Linux. You need to have at least 8 gigabytes of RAM minimum, and you need at least 1 gigabyte of free storage. You do require AI, or you do require internet connection. For this is for the AI features, and so yeah, let's start by downloading Cursor IDE. Open your browser and go to cursor.com. Click on the download button at the top of the page. The website should automatically detect your operating system and offer you the correct version. If not, there should be a drop down where you can select your OS specifically. The download should start automatically. Click on the download link once it's done. As you see here, it's going to open up a downloading version 39.6. And voila, we have now downloaded Cursor and have it running on our system. So, first time setup. Once you got Cursor downloaded and installed on your system, when you first open Cursor IDE, you'll first need to go through a quick setup process. Sign in with your Cursor account or make a new one if you don't have one. So let's start there. If you do not have an account, the pricing is right here. I would suggest going with the Pro Edition. You get 500 fast premium requests, and you also get 10 Claude Opus uses per day, which comes in handy. Once you log in, you'll be given this dashboard where you'll be able to see your account, how many requests that you've done in the last 30 days, as well as how many times you've used Cursor Small or GPT-4o Mini. You can also buy different. You can also buy more fast requests right here, and those will replenish every month. All right, now let's get started setting up Cursor. So first thing you want to do is open up Cursor settings. This is where you will be making most of the changes that will affect Cursor in the way that it enhances your coding experience. So you can always import all your old extensions, key bindings, and settings using this import button for VS Code. There also is this menu option or this text box for your Cursor rules. This is where you can insert any type of project-specific guidelines that you want the entire Cursor to abide by. Now you also have your editor, which this is the basic editor for most IDEs, code editor IDEs. So in this, you'll be able to change different shortcuts, change if you want to have the font different, all different type of normal code editing settings. All right. Now we have privacy mode. Privacy mode I usually leave enabled, and what this does is that it disables the telemetry data that they use to improve Cursor. Next, let's go over the models. So with Cursor, they allow you to use many different type of models, whether it's GPT, Claude, and you can also add models as well. So if you have a custom model or some type of local model that you would like to use, you can add it here. So sometimes the fast request will be eliminated very quickly. So they give you the option to also use your OpenAI key as far as um, using that instead of having to rely on fast requests, and that will eliminate the queue entirely because you won't be using their APIs or tokens. You will be using your own from your own account. This also applies to Anthropic as well as Google, and they've also recently added Azure support. Now let's go over some of the features. So, Cursor tab. Cursor tab is something that they've just implemented recently. Cursor tab is uh, basically the improved version of their Copilot Plus Plus. Uh, they've added the ability to select which model you would like to use as default. They've also added the effect to accept partial accepts. They've already had the cursor prediction, which will predict the next line you move to after accepting a cursor tab suggestion and can be accepted by tab. It allows you to go tab, tab, tab through edits. They've also just enacted chunked streaming. So this suggests the first edit faster by streaming the edits in chunks. That way that you'll be able to get your code edits on the fly. Now, cache typehead, that allows the first edit to be cached and suggests it faster. So these are all quality of life updates in order to get the most efficient generations. Next, let's go over code-based indexing. Code-based indexing is embeddings that improve your code-based wide answers. All code is stored locally. So what this means is if you have documents or the code itself, when you select this option to enable the code-based indexing, what it will do is it will index all of your new folders by default. If turned off, you can manually index by clicking the compute index button over the chat window whenever you're speaking to the chat. Folders with more than 10,000 files will not be auto-indexed. So that's the current limit. They also give you the ability to ignore files as well. So now here, this is the docs section. This is where you'll be able to add docs, and the docs will instantly be indexed. Now these are the chat features. You can select, you can have your chat set up to where every question that you insert will automatically run through the web tag as well and do a web search. You can also have it where the chat will stream with the fade effect. This is just a quality of life improvement, more appeasing to the eyes. Default no context. This would allow you to automatically talk to the AI without having any context, whether that's the file that you're currently working in or the folder repository that you're working in. Now you also have the ability to give @ suggestions in the AI chat. And you also have the ability to use a narrow scroll bar. This is what I use by default. Now they've also added new editor features. One of them is you can show/edit the tooltip. So show chat edit tooltip near the highlighted code in the editor. This is crucial for getting quick information on certain parts of your code that you're unsure about or any type of errors. It also has the ability to auto parse inline links when you paste them using the Control K input. They also have auto select for Control K. So you may auto select regions for inline code editing by using the Control K command. Use theme diff backgrounds. So what this does is it will have different colors for whenever there's a whenever they're showing you the difference of the different code changes. You can also have use character level diffs. And you also have the ability to do symbol suggestions again with the Control K. Now, terminal. Terminal options include terminal hints. This will give you a text at the bottom of the terminal, and also do a terminal hover hint. So these are all quality of life improvements that will enhance your coding experience. Now let's go over the beta features. The beta features are really well implemented. Number one, Composer. Composer is the newest implementation, and Composer gives you the ability to do multi-file as well as multi-line edits. This is more so the agentic abilities of Cursor, where you can give Cursor a long list of to-do items, tasks, and it will complete them accordingly. Now you have to be mindful. This is also in beta, so try to limit your list to between 10 and 20 tasks. I've seen that it has the most success in this range. So with this composer, you have multi-composer, which allows you to do multiple composer runs at the same time. You also can keep composer inbound, which means you want to keep it in this taskbar. And then I have it checked where wherever I accept the changes, it will auto apply them and save them, so I don't have to go in and save each change from each file that it makes changes to. Next, we have interpreter mode. Interpreter mode allows you to do certain commands within Cursor. For example, it allows you to run shell commands to create files, to check diffs, to push commits, all type of things. Then we also have the new long context chat, which allows you to use Claude's 200K context window. You can put an entire folder in chat if it fits, but it'll be a little bit slower, but very powerful. Now we also have AI review. What this will do is it'll give you a list of all of the current diffs and set you up for a really good PR for bugs. All right, now let's set up our first project. First thing you want to do is go to File, and usually you can do a new text file, or you can open up a folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a new folder. And we're going to call this new project. Excellent. We have now set up our first project in Cursor. So now that we've got this all set up, congratulations. You've successfully installed Cursor IDE and created your first project. The next part of our series will dive deeper into Cursor's user interface and basic features.